You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/inkdependence keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and today we're taking a look at this pad of paper. This is Maruman Croquis, which is, it's a French word, it's for sketch. Thank you, my friend Anna in France, for telling me that this is Croquis, so I didn't just go through this saying crocus, and then everybody had to correct me in the comments. So, Croquis. This is Maruman paper, and I am a big fan of Maruman. I've been using the Nemosity line of stuff for a very long while, years and years. This is my little notebook that I do all my pen reviews in. I write up all my stats and stuff in these. They've got great covers and paper and stuff. This is the bigger one that I just use for general note-taking and whatnot in my day-to-day life, my professional life, all that jazz. I love this stuff. And so when I saw there was a new Maruman out there, I'm like, well, I got to try this stuff out. I saw this first on my friend Brad the penaddict Dowdy's live stream. He got it from Jet Pens. I bought this from Jet Pens a couple of weeks ago. Y'all saw it in my unboxing there, likely. I got it for $7.25, which I think is pretty fair. This is not the cheapest paper around, but like whatever. Good paper makes your life better. And so if I can spend $7 and have a little bit better life, I'm into it. So there are hardly any details on this here notepad. You have Croquis Maruman S263, which I guess is like a model number or something, or a style number. A5, which is the size. A mysterious barcode. And then just nothing else. Sometimes, like Midori will sometimes put stuff in the back covers. There's nothing in here. Nothing at all. All I have here is the note that I wrote to myself that says, the S is silent, French for sketch. So, croquis, not crocus, like the flower. Cool, cool, cool. So let's talk a little bit about stats on this here book. This is, as I said, an A5, which is a great size. It fits on a desk well. It's a little bit bigger than a hand, and this one lays flat, which is great. I really like the binding on this and the fact that it can lay flat. This is the white paper option. They also have a cream, which is probably going to be really cool for those of you who are using it to write or sketch or whatever. I like to have white paper for most of the things I use because I want the color to be represented accurately, and more people have white paper than that particular cream paper, so this works for me. It is 100 sheets, which is, I think, plenty of sheets, and this is 52.3 GSM paper, which is a little bit on the thin side. It's not super thin. It's not Tomoe River or anything, but it's also not like 32-pound HP or something that's going to take up a huge amount of space or be very thick or whatever. So this is 52.3 Gs per SM, which is nice. And also, this is glue bound, which I totally missed when I bought it. I was just like, yeah, I'll try out this paper, put it in cart. But I love a glue bound notebook. I also really like this one. This is the Fabriano glue bound notebook, which a friend of mine picked up at Marshall's for $5 for me, which was on sale, which is pretty great. But this is $8, so generally, so it's a little bit more expensive than this, and only has 90 sheets of 85 grams per square meter paper, which is quite a lot thicker than the 52. So I like this Fabriano, but it's a little bit harder for me to find right now. So I'm excited about this Croquis. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. So let's look inside the notebook. You have this very nice sort of lay flat binding with this glue bound stuff, so you can just tear a page out. Somebody asked me in a live stream if it was glue bound, and I went, I don't know, and I tried to tear a page out, and lo and behold, you can totally tear a page out. No problem at all, which is real neat. I actually kept that page, which is this one. I was doing a bunch of ink swatches on. These are all new Esterbrook inks, and I poured a bunch of ink on these pages, and you can see there's like one spot, are those maybe two spots of kind of bleed through, but and kind of here, but that's, you can see how I scraped it a little bit when I was putting it down with the letter opener. But everything else, I mean, it's totally fine. That's a lot of ink for a page to deal with, especially 52.3 grams per square meter page. So yeah, pretty darn ink resistant. I like that a lot, and so it's good for fountain pens. I want to try a bunch of stuff on here just to make sure, to see how it reacts to various things. I've got ballpoints here. I've got roller balls. I got Sharpies, I got pencils, I got a whole thing. So we're going to do that. So let's get in on this. I will also say that this paper is definitely thin enough that you can put a guide sheet behind it, which I do. I got these from Well Appointed Desk. You can download these for free, which is great. It's a zillion guide sheets in different styles for different sizes, and you just print them out on your printer and put them behind things. So I like to do that, and you can see on camera here that you can absolutely see the lines through the paper, and that's perfect. That means that when you you know, write something, if you're writing a letter to somebody, dearest Agnes, then you can you know, have your writing look like it's nicely lined up and such without you know, having your lines meander. Maybe you like meandering. I like to have it a little bit more uniform, so I throw one of those behind it. It's real cool. Okay, and you can see it better through this than you can through, say, like a Midori MD pad, which is got thicker paper. So, all right, let's get started. Actually, I'm going to use that backing sheet right now because that'll make these look a little bit less messy. Okay, so let's start out with something simple. We got a ballpoint here. This is a Parker Jotter with a Parker Jotter refill. And yeah, no problem at all writing with this. Feels nice. There's a little bit of a texture to this paper. Not a lot. I think it's less than like a bank paper or something like that, but it's got a little bit of something. It's not super ultra smooth. Then I've got here this is a tactile turn side click pen, which I like quite a lot. And this has a soft roll. Wait, is that what it is? Let me look. Sorry, Schmidt Easy Flow 9000, which is a really good refill. It's one of the ballpoint refills that I like a lot. It's not quite as good, I think, as the Jetstream, but very nice. So let's do this. And that feels great. I think it looks really good too. You don't have any weird breaks in the ballpoint line. Pretty nice. So there we go. Ballpoints down. Let's throw a little bit of pencil at this thing. I have here my current favorite pencil. This is a Blackwing Natural, which is the extra firm core. And yeah, no problem there at all. I also really like the way this feels. It's got a good line weight and no, you know, it doesn't have enough texture that you see skipping in the ball or in the pencil line, which you do sometimes see with those textured papers. And man, do I not like that. Okay, so pencils is looking good. Let's step it up a little bit and have here we have a Micron, Pigma Micron. This is that archival ink with like the needle tip thing. Also looks good, feels good, no weirdness. It's not too rough or anything of that nature. I like it. All right, let's do some gel. One gel pen. Let's do 2 gel pens. I have here a Uniball Signo. This is a 0.38 tip, which is very fine. So let's give that a shot. Yeah, feels really good. Looks good. This paper is definitely smooth enough for the very fine gel pens. Dig it. Here's a 0.7 Sarasa Zebra Sarasa. Likewise feels good. Didn't have any problems with that one at all. But I did get, I think I was pressing down a little bit hard, but I did get a little bit of railroading here from that, which I don't love, but I think that'll be totally fine. So gel pens, yep, those are good. How about some roller balls? I have a couple of versions of the Uniball Vision. We have the Vision Elite and the Vision Exact. We'll start with the Exact, which is a micro. All right, it's a Uniball Vision Elite in the sort of blue-black color. And these both feel pretty good. Let's see if they were coming through at all. Yeah, no problem at all with any of these coming through the paper. I mean, you can obviously see through the paper, but I mean, if you couldn't see through the paper, you wouldn't be able to see the guiding sheet either. So we knew that was going to happen. Let's step it up yet again. And let's go to this one. This is a Pilot Bravo. I'm actually a big fan of these pens. I just found the blue and black one. I use the red all the time, but I just found the blue and black one in a bag that I haven't used in a while, and I was really excited. These have a big porous point tip. They are quite broad and very wet. I'm going to call it a marker. And that works great. It feels good. It's got really good color depth. I don't have any problems with it. Like, let me see. Yeah, no problems with feathering or anything like that. Looks good. Didn't bleed through at all. So that works really well. Like it. All right, let's keep on that train. I've got here a Papermate Liquid Flare. Yep, works just fine there as well. Let's make sure it didn't bleed through or anything weird. Nope, didn't at all. It's the same kind of porous point situation, but it's finer. I've liked these for a long time. You don't see them a lot, but really nice pen, fun to use. Will bleed on some papers though. Let's go here. This is going big. This is a Pilot addressing marker. Well, addressing pen, I guess I should say. I got this one from Jet Pens as well, and it was made for writing quickly in absolutely indelible ink. And this smells a bit like a Sharpie. It smells permanent, and I think it definitely is. If one of these so far is going to bleed through, it'll be this one. And yeah, this one actually did bleed through. I'm not shocked by this at all. You really want to be writing on something heavy like, you know, the outside of a box or something with this. It is not really meant for writing on little papers like this. But the fact that it held up this well is actually pretty impressive. So, you know, good job, Maruman. All right. Then we've got here, before we get into actual Sharpies, I've got this this Marvy Calligraphy Pen. I haven't really used this much, but it's broad and fairly wet, so I figured I'd give it a shot. That feels really good, and I think it actually looks kind of nice too, even though I am not a calligrapher at all. Didn't bleed through. Well, no, it didn't bleed through. I'm going to say it didn't bleed through over here. See a little couple of places where it's a little bit darker, but not bleed. Cool. All right, it's held up so far. Let's give it a little Sharpie. This is the extra fine point Sharpie permanent marker. Yeah, this one went right through, so I'm not surprised by that. It was kind of supposed to. I knew that, I mean, it resisted this pretty well, which is impressive, but it's not going to resist this at all. And these are not meant. I'm glad I had the backing sheet here because it actually wrote on the backing sheet. You see like little blue dots and stuff. So, yep, no problem there. And so it's definitely going to bleed with this big Sharpie. This is the absolute other end of the spectrum. This is the Sharpie chisel tip. All right. So actually, interestingly, this one spread a little bit and didn't get any feathers or anything. This one doesn't even look like it really spread, but it 100% bled through, like 100% bled through the back of the page. Not a surprise. And also, like, look, I am mad about it because really you're not supposed to be able to take it. It's that's a lot. that's an awful lot. So let's try a couple of fountain pens just for funsies. I think they'll be totally fine. This is well, I'm just gonna write it down. This is the Colorverse Lucky Star in Anise Pure. I should say it's a broad nib. And fairly wet. Let's see how it did on the other side. Yeah, no problems at all. The other side is clean. No bleed through at all. Let's see, does this have the shimmer? Yeah, you can see a little bit of shimmer actually in there. Cool. Not a surprise that it held up to it. And then here we have a very different ink. This is a Narwhal pen, one of the piston fillers, and this is Kala's Spectralite, which I really like, but it can be a little tough on paper. It's a little bit, has a little tendency to bleed, so let's see what it does. All right, we did get a couple of feathers going on here from the Spectralite ink. Not a lot, but a few. And then, yeah, no bleed through, so that's good. A little bit of feathers, but just a couple here and there. Not that big a deal. And Spectralite, especially in a nib that's wet, like this one's pretty wet, it will tend to feather just a touch on some papers. So also I've had my hand there, so it could be hitting a little bit of hand oil because I'm only getting in a couple of places, which makes me think maybe I touched it and it shouldn't have done that. And then this is going to be Linen Toolbar in a medium nib. I haven't really had any problems with this ink on many papers I've used it on. Do we have anything here? No, looks real good. It's very nice, nice gray. No problems with bleeding through. Pigmented inks sometimes will give you a little bit of feathering, but often they don't bleed. They're usually pretty good at that, and this is done very well. There we go. This is a Kala Una with a, what is this, a broad stub. Diamine Earl Grey. And you can see the difference between these two gray inks, I think, right here. And yeah, of course, no problems there at all. And no feathering. No feathering that I can tell, and no spread. So looks good, I think. Here's the thing about this paper. I think it's really nice. I like the way that it has handled most of these inks. The only ones that gave it a problem were the ones that I mean, obviously would give it a problem because they give everything a problem, which is the Sharpie marker, the other Sharpie marker, and then this Pilot addressing pen, which is essentially like a weird rollerball permanent marker. So these I was expecting to go through. I actually kind of expected this calligraphy pen to go through as well, just because it's so broad and markery. But yeah, no problems at all. And of course, fountain pen ink it handled with no problem. Everything else it handled with no problem and felt good while doing it. So this is a paper that I will definitely be buying more of, I think, in the future, one that I'm gonna be using for sure. And yeah, grab yourself some Maruman Croquis paper. This stuff is good. These are nice. And if you don't sketch, cool. Just like write stuff in it. That's what I do. I don't sketch. You don't want to see my sketches. My sketches are bad. All right, I'll see y'all in the next review. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, help the channel, maybe become a patron if you haven't. I now have a patron Discord if you want to do that sort of thing. And you can come hang out with a bunch of other pen nerds in a Discord. It's fun. I'll see you there. Peace out.